Can you explain what is this again?
Yeah, so it's a full robotic arm. Like there's a AI chip in here, and then this like attaches to like the remainder of my arm. It's almost like a socket. It slides on. Wow. And then there's sensors and stuff in here that reads the signals and nerves in my arm that the surgeons remapped. So like me thinking about opening and closing, like I'm using the same like nerves and stuff.
Oh, all right. I thought I lost you.
Wow.
Yep, you ready to check out? Or
yes.
Yeah. Same thing. Elbow going up, elbow going down. That's all the same. Same nerves. Like when I'm thinking about elbow up.
I mean, that's amazing. AI is amazing,
hands
bro.
Open, hand closed. And then I had the company that built it for me. Like I told them like I wanted it to look like straight up like robotic cyberpunk. Like I didn't want the silicone skin or any of that stuff. Like I wanted it because I thought it looked tough. So
I appreciate that,
yeah,
man.
man.
Let me just take a little close up. Yeah, man.
These things exist, man.
They exist.
Hey, Figure One, what do you see right now?
I see a red apple on a plate in the center of the table, a drying rack with cups and a plate, and you standing nearby with your hand on the table.
Great. Can I have something to eat?
Sure thing.
Great. Can you explain why you did what you just did while you pick up this trash?
On it. So I gave you the apple because it's the only edible item I could provide you with from the table.
Great. So, based on the scene right now, where do you think the dishes in front of you go next?
The dishes on the table, like that plate and cup, are likely to go into the drying rack next.
Great. Can you put them there?
Of course.
All right, so how do you think you did?
I think I did pretty well. The apple found its new owner, the trash is gone, and the tableware is right where it belongs.
I agree. Thanks, Figure One.
You're welcome. If there's anything else you need help with, just a good probability that my generation is, hopefully with the advances in science, either the first generation to live forever or the last generation that's going to die. And so we need to keep ourselves in pretty good shape.
Transhumanist, according to Encyclopedia Britannica, defines transhumanism as a social and philosophical movement devoted to promoting the research and development of robust human enhancement technologies.
Can you imagine that in 10 years when we are sitting here, we have an implant in our brains, and I can immediately feel, because you all will have implants.
People will literally be part of a network. All the bodies, all the brains would be connected together to a network, and you won't be able to survive if you're disconnected from the net.
With AI taking over many of the unskilled and possibly some of the skilled activities, then there will be people for whom seems to be society. It won't have much use for these people.
We need to accept that there will be some pain in the process. I think we're going to have to think about a recalibration of a whole range of human rights that are playing out online.
Individual carbon footprint tracker.
Many of these things will be built directly into our bodies.
That's a hostile corporate takeover of your body and a digital surveillance censorship dictatorship.
President Eisenhower tried to warn us about this years ago. The hostile takeover of a scientific,
technological elite. They provide much more powerful intelligence for decision making.
Can a microscopic tag be implanted in a person's body to track his every movement? You will rule upon that.
The next phase is the surveillance going under our skin.
Now that we've cracked the code of life, It will not take much longer before we can start to play God.
The new powers that we are gaining now, especially the powers of biotechnology and artificial intelligence, are really going to transform us into gods.
It's a total, complete AI takeover of every facet of human life, like Harari and others have been saying.
Given all the technological developments, it might be feasible, even easy, to support people, even if they don't work, to give them a universal basic income, to give them enough food, enough medicine, and so forth. The big question is meaning. What will they do all day? And one of the answers is that they will just play computer games all day, virtual reality games. They will spend more and more time playing virtual reality games that will give them much more excitement and emotional engagement than anything in the real world outside.
This is 2 Thessalonians 2:9. Even him whose coming is after the working of Satan, with all power and signs and lying wonders. Shalom, Kahala Yahawah B'Shem Yahawashi, B'Shem Qadash. Double honors my teachers, the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and mercy to the elect, who are the house of David reborn again in this generation. And shalom to the 1/3 Yasharallah, who today are known as the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, who before losing our true heritage, we were known as, and still are, the true Hebrew Israelites of the Holy Bible. In today's lesson, we're going to talk about the videos we just watched, and we're going to discuss how this is all biblical and that it's all going to lead to the mark of the beast. Well, the first video is the video that gave me the idea for this lesson. Right? This just came out this week on social media, showing a Judite with a prosthetic arm. Not only that, but an AI powered prosthetic arm, which basically means he's using his mind to control it. Now, if you look at it, it looks cool, like the guy said, right? It looks hard. But the thing is that it still moves very robotically. All right? It's not controlled subconsciously. He has to actively think about it for it to work and move. And even at that, even if he was to get good at it, it's still going to be subpar compared to the real thing. Well, as we watched in the second video and then the third, Esau, and when I say Esau, I'm talking about the Caucasian race, right? Because biblically, the true identity of the Caucasian race, which includes the Israelis, because again, they're all the same people, they are known as the biblical Edomites. You could also refer to them as Esau, which is the name of their forefather, or you could simply call them just Edom. But like I said, Edom is working overtime to bring forth these lying wonders. Okay, these things made out of silicon, metal, carbon, and plastic, and is trying to present it to you as the next best thing. Okay, he's trying to make it seem as if it's a cool thing to get, right? And not only that, but again, he's going after the disabled market first, right? You also see this going on with Elon Musk and the Neuralink trials, right? They are promising to do miracles for those who have been crippled either by birth or because of a tragic accident. So of course, who's going to go against that? But again, when you look at the other videos that I showed you, you can see how it's all going to lead to a level of control which we've never seen on the earth, and which Esau has wet dreams about. And the thing is that a lot of people are going to stumble into that without even understanding what it's all about. They're going to think that they're simply just buying the next PlayStation, the next great new item, right? The next fad. This is 1 Corinthians 3:16. Know ye not that ye are the temple of God, and that the Spirit of God dwelleth in you? If any man defile the temple of God, him shall God destroy, for the temple of God is holy, which temple ye are. And that's what Esau's trying to do ultimately. Is trying to defile the temple of the Lord. You see, the third temple that everybody's talking about, the Israelis are attempting to build, it's not a physical temple over there in the land of Israel made of stones or bricks or whatever. The real third temple that the Lord is building is the Israelites, the Negro, Latino, Native Americans, the 1/3 of those people, the people who are going to be chosen to be saved from the coming destructions. Now, Esau, trying to destroy the plans of the Lord, is trying to infiltrate that temple. And how is he doing that? Well, many ways, right? It could be from poisoning your food to pushing abominable food as delicacies like lobster, crab, pork, chitlins, and all this horrible stuff that defiles your temple. Now that's on the low level. The higher level defilement comes with things like the mRNA, jabs that have changed people's, genome, or the mark of the beast, right, which is going to give Esau ability to, monitor and control. And there's check this out. There's a show that I'm watching right now. It's called Severance, and it's on Apple TV, and it's kind of a crazy show. It's about office work. I've only seen like 2 episodes of it, but what it's about, it's where you could sever your memories from your office work, your day at work, versus your day in your life. And the way that they do that is by implanting an RFID microchip directly into the center of your brain. When I seen that, I got floored, because I was like, man, that's the mark of the beast right there, right? Because see, that is what Esau wants. He wants to put his control directly into the center of your mind, right? He wants to be able to control not only what you eat, what you say, but what you even think, right? He wants to sit in the temple of God, as the scriptures say. This is Proverbs 22:3. A prudent man foreseeth the evil and hideth himself, but the simple pass on and are punished. And that's what's going on. You see, these devils are trying to push out this technology in a way where it seems incredible. And I've got to admit, seeing that Judite in the first video, it was incredible, right? Growing up in the 80s, that's one thing you wanted. You wanted robotic limbs, and you wanted to, be like the Transformers and all this stuff. And why do you think that was all pushed to us starting back in the 80s? Well, because you see, Esau knew his time was coming to an end. And he knew that he was going to have to put in this great deception to make people want to basically become bioengineered robots, right? The term, like the lady in that video that Jared Kushner was talking about, how he was more likely in the last generation to die, or the first generation to live forever, right? It's called transhumanism, and this is something that these Edomites have been pining for a very long time. I even have a video of Arthur C. Clarke back in the 50s talking about the future of robotics, and how people, for the most part, were going to be able to, put their spirit, they don't call it spirit, but they call it the consciousness, into these machines. And why is that? Well, because you see, even if Esau doesn't believe in God, he's going to automatically create counterfeits to what the Lord has made naturally. Okay, because why is that? Well, because these Edomites are the children of Satan, and everything they do, regardless if it's with good intentions, it manages to be a horrible turnout, right? A good example is from when I went to Tahoe, Lake Tahoe up here in North California. I went out on a kayak trip, and the guide, he was telling us about a story how there isn't that many fish in the lake anymore, because the lake was filled with fish, or certain fish that would eat up all the native species. So what did Esau do? Well, he went out and he got a natural predator for these invasive fish. But what happened? These natural predators of this invasive fish, being in this new environment, started to consume the lower level aqua life. Okay, and they basically now live lower than the invasive fish do. So now, not only did they destroy the native species in the Lake Tahoe, but they've also killed a lot of the native fauna on the bottom of the lake bed. And why is that? Well, that's because Esau tried to fix something, right? And that's ultimately what's going to happen. You got to remember, man, these people, they can't get right. Okay, this is how they are, right? This is, regardless if they want to do it or not, their actions are going to lead to something horrible. And again, and that's exactly where all this biotech, AI, robotics, and futuristic technology is going to lead to. It's going to lead to something horrible, which is that evil spoken about here in Proverbs 22:3. See, the evil that is ahead of all of us is this mark of the beast, which is going to be the solution to a lot of the problems these Edomites are creating, right? Because they got to make sure that the world begs them for this, okay? And what you've seen right now with that Judite with his new bionic arm, see, that right there is going to be how he gets the people who are handicapped, okay? Pretty soon he's going to go ahead and do other things. He's going to bring out telepathy with Elon Musk's brain chip. People at Facebook, the company at Facebook has already been talking about developing telepathy through technology. But you know, Neuralink and these other brain chip companies are going to do that. And the thing is that a lot of people, they're not even being able to see this. Because why? Because they've been blinded by the enchantments and the bread of circuses of this world. This is 1 Peter 5:8. Be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about, seeking whom he may devour. And that's what's going on, man. These devils are walking around. They're basically making sure to put out all the technology and all the amazement and glamorize it, and put it in movies, and basically put it on the news and make it seem like the next best thing to sliced bread. So that way when the time comes, they could devour those who fall for their tricks. Okay, what did the Bible say about these Edomites? That they are cunning hunters. Okay, but what does the Bible tell us? That we got to be sober. Not physically sober, right? Meaning not to drink alcohol, but that means be aware, right? Have your head on a swivel, right? Spiritually, meaning start to look out for lessons that are being taught. Pay attention to the news, right? Start to learn something here and there, right? One thing I do with my friends, I always ask them, so what's going on in the world? What have you heard, right? And then that starts great conversations about what's happening, right? And that's something that, if you don't talk to other people about this, something you should ask yourself, right? What did I learn today, right? When it comes to like events in the news, right? That's a good way to keep your eyes open and be vigilant to what's going on around us. This is Revelations 13:16. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy and sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666. That's the 666. So you see, this is what's coming, Akim. All roads lead to this, okay? The bionic arms, the AI robots, the DNA modification, all of it. All of it's going to lead to a biometric implantable ID, which is an RFID microchip which the Bible refers to as the mark of the beast. This is Ezekiel 28:6. Therefore thus saith Yahawah Bashem Yahawashi power, because thou hast set thine heart as the heart of God. Behold, therefore I will bring strangers upon thee, the terrible of the nations, and they shall draw their swords and against the beauty of thy wisdom, and they shall defile thy brightness. They shall bring thee down to the pit, and thou shalt die the deaths of many that are slain in the midst of the seas. Wilt thou yet say before him that slayeth thee, I am a God? But thou shalt be a man, and no God, in the hand of him that slayeth thee. And that's what's coming for these devils, these Edomites, right? The Caucasian race, including those Israeli, which are also the same people, okay? They're all Edomites, right? This is their end, okay? For them trying to be like God, to sit in the temple of God, that being you, your body, you Israelites, these devils are going to pay the price for trying to be gods, right? Because that's what they're trying to do. They are trying to be God, right? They're trying to replace God, which is why you're starting to see so much pushing for anti-religious rhetoric around the world. Okay, this is why over in China they're destroying mosques and they're rewriting the Bible to try to, destroy the message of the Lord, but that ain't gonna work, right? These other heathen nations have already been judged, and now we just gotta wait for their judgment to play out. And ultimately, these other nations, including Esau, are all going to go into captivity under us Israelites, along with the Messiah, right? We're going to be ruling the world. And these other nations, the 17 other nations, are all going to serve us, right? And it's not going to be easy, bondage, right? It's going to be hard captivity, okay? And all to and to each their own, according to how they treated the Israelites. Because that's another thing you got to remember, right? The Israelites all were, for the most part, were slaves under every one of these nations. Every one of these nations in the world, except for the Israelites, had a chance to rule, and a lot of them, put us into captivity, and they all got to pay for what they've done in the past. So that being said, Akim, hopefully this video was edifying. Hopefully you can see how these devils are working overtime to bring forward these false miracles, these lying wonders, to deceive the masses, okay? And just got to understand that we got to keep, being vigilant. We got to reject the devil and all his toys, and we'll be good. So either way, hopefully this video was edifying. Until next time, I want to give all honor and glory and praises to Yahawah Bashem Yahawashi Bashem Qadash. Shalom.